Hello friends, my name is Shayla, and today I am here to wrap up the rest of my reading month for the month of September. So in September I read quite a bit, and I do know that I missed all of the audiobooks in my last wrap up. So we're going to quickly talk about all the audiobooks first, then my digital reads, and then we'll get into my physical reads. So first up we have Flame in the Dark by Faith Hunter. This is book 3 in the Soulwood series. This is a paranormal series. I would call it more urban fantasy than romance. There's not really been much romance up to this point. There's been some inklings and intent of feelings and things, but not anything solid yet. But I'm really enjoying it. I do think that come the next book, there's going to be more of a romance to it. But it's just been a slow build where we follow a woman named Nell who was raised in a polygamous style religion, and she's found her way out of that. And this is about her having paranormal powers and becoming part of a paranormal investigation unit. It's really interesting. I really quite like it. Highly recommend the series. And then I read all of the Wedding Dare series on audiobook. This is by Tessa Bailey, Diane Alberts, Katie Robert, and Samantha Beck. This was a collaboration project where they all wrote about the same wedding party, all falling in love with each other. It's really fun. They all range between 3 and 4 stars. They're not the best things I've ever read, but man, they were sure fun. And they're all available on Audible Escape. That is it for the audiobooks. Let's jump over to the Kindle books. I think the only digital one that I read since the last wrap-up was Hidden Cove by Meg Tilly. This is a murder mystery romance that takes place on a secluded kind of island. People are there by choice, not by capture. And I ended up really enjoying this one. You can hear more of my thoughts in my Contemporary-a-thon vlog if you want to check out the end of that. So that is it for digital reads for the month of September, at least that I hadn't already covered. Let's go ahead and jump into the physical ones. Any of these that you want more details on, you can get them in 2 different places. If you're looking for more details on the manga reads, you can check that out on my blog. That's where I will primarily be reviewing manga from now on. And then if you want to know more about my books, you can definitely check out Goodreads. I'm a little bit behind on my reviews, but I will be caught up hopefully by the time this video goes live for you, so that you can go ahead and check out my full thoughts there. I'm still going to try to give you thorough thoughts while we're doing this, but if you feel like you want more details, you can definitely check those out or DM me. All right, so the first one we're going to talk about is Christmas in Harmony Harbor by Debbie Mason. This is a really cute Christmas romance that is like It's a Wonderful Life meets A Christmas Carol. It's really cute, really fun. Takes place in her Cape Cod style area. She's got 2 little areas that she writes her series in. So this is her Harmony Harbor series. And it's about a small town and they're all connected. It's really cute. I really loved it. If you're looking for a sweet Hallmark Christmas story, this will definitely fit the bill for you. Some other books that I read during Contemporary-a-thon that you can get more of my thoughts if you check out those vlogs. First up, we have Say You Still Love Me by K.A. Tucker. This is a second chance romance that fell a little flat for me. There were some things about it that I really didn't enjoy. Most of the sexual scenes were happening as they were teenagers at camp rather than grown adults, even though we were flopping back and forth between the 2 timelines. And I didn't ever really connect with the characters in this one. I ended up giving it 2 stars. It's not my favorite. I do intend to send this on to someone who may enjoy it more than I did. Next we have The Lemon Sisters by Jill Shalvis. This was a really cute love story about 2 sisters. One is trying to save her marriage and the other has the second chance at her longtime love. And it's really sweet. It's really cute. I really loved these sisters and their dynamic. And obviously I felt sympathy for the husband who was trying so hard because I've been in a similar situation. But anyways, this is solid. It's really good. I really, really liked it. Highly recommend. And then the last one from Contemporary-a-thon that I have a physical read of is His to Claim by Shelley Bell. This is a BDSM smutty series. This is the middle book in that series, and it's good. It's very steamy. There's not really insta love. They feel feelings for each other pretty quickly, but they both kind of fight it. So it works for me in that regard, because nothing's really truly rushed in it. So I ended up really enjoying this. Highly recommend checking it out if you think you can handle the BDSM stuff. Because obviously there are some power dynamics within the relationship because of that, and that makes some people incredibly uncomfortable. So that's why I say if you think you can handle it, you should give it a try. If you don't, definitely hard pass. All right, we've got 2 more books that I have full thoughts on. First up, we have We Hunt the Flame. This was a buddy read from Lindsay over at Lindsay Tutt. I really enjoyed this buddy read. This is kind of a wild ride of a fantasy. It's hard for me to even really give you a description that wouldn't spoil things. But essentially, we have a game of chase meets a game of cat and mouse. I think that's probably the easiest way I can describe this without spoiling things for you. I know it definitely has some Middle Eastern representation in it, and it was really interesting. It's pretty brutal. The author definitely doesn't pull their punches, so if you love that kind of a fantasy story, I highly recommend this one. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I'm very intrigued. We'll be continuing on. There were definitely some plot points that I didn't see coming, so that just keeps me intrigued and makes me want to read more and more of it. And then the last physical book we have, and then we'll have manga left, is Permanent Record by Mary H.K. Choi. I did a pseudo buddy read of this with Natalie over at Pages and Panels. We were both kind of crazy the week we decided to read this, and so it was kind of a back and forth where we didn't get to communicate during the buddy read as much as we both wanted to, but I had lots of thoughts as I read this. I ended up really enjoying this and giving it 5 stars. This is not going to be a book for everybody. I'll definitely say that right out the gate, and I really loved it. I really thought it was fantastic. I do like Choi's writing, so I do think I will go back and read Emergency Contact, but I know that most people love this more than Emergency Contact. The characters in this were very relatable. This does deal with a famous person, and I know some people don't like stories with famous people, but to me, this had more of a Roman holiday kind of feel to it, rather than like a I want to be in love with a celebrity kind of feel to it, I guess is the easiest way for me to kind of describe that. But I really loved this. Pablo is great. He was one of the best written characters I've read in a while. He definitely stands out. I think about Pablo pretty often still, and I highly recommend checking out Permanent Record if you think it sounds at all good to you. So yes, I loved Permanent Record. It was really fun. Once our lives calm down, Natalie and I will buddy read again, but right now we're both kind of crazy and hectic, and maybe 2020, after she's graduated and I've calmed down in life, we'll get to buddy reading again. But yes, we both ended up enjoying this. I think I enjoyed it a little more than her, but I'm not 100% sure. We both really enjoyed it. All right, let's dig into the rest of the manga and wrap things up for you. First up, we have The Age of Magus Bride Volume 11. I waited way too long to read this. I only read this like just recently, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. I loved being back in this world. I hate that I have to wait another 6 months. There's a good chance I will reread the series again soon, but I still love Chise. We found things out in this novel, in this volume, that had left me wanting more in the previous volume, but there's still more I want to know. With each volume, I learn a piece of information, and I get given a nibble of something else that I want. So this series is really great that way, where it keeps you hooked enough that you're interested in the next volume. So yes, even though we're current with Japan and I have to wait so long in between releases, I still anxiously anticipate each and every release, and I love getting back in this world and being with Chise and Elias again. It just makes my heart so happy. So happy. Next, we have Our Dreams at Dusk Volume 3. This was definitely a hard-hitting volume. There trigger warnings for like everything for people on the LGBT spectrum, except sexual abuse. That's the only thing that hasn't come up in this one, in this series, but it's basically addressed everything else. And there's a lot of homophobic slurs in this. So if that's triggering to you at all, definitely avoid the series. But the series is really solid. I feel like I learn a lot each time I read it, and my eyes get opened a little bit more to understand my friends in the LGBT community a little bit better, as I am not a member of that community. But I want to continue to show love and compassion and understanding for my friends in the community. And so I've learned a lot from this, and I find myself checking certain things in my behavior more to make sure I'm not making the same mistakes that people make in these volumes. So Definitely know that this is hard-hitting and powerful, but it is stunningly beautiful at the same time. Definitely check out the series. Next, we have the complete series of After Hours. This is about two grown women who fall in love, and it's about them planning this party and rave and their relationship while all of that is going on. It's fantastic. I really thoroughly enjoyed this, a lot more than I expected to. Mama from over at Mama Loves Manga turned me on to it, and I really enjoyed what I read. These girls are really sweet, and their relationship is quite nice, and I like that it was grown women. A lot of these Yuri manga end up dealing with like teenagers falling in love with each other, and so I like that it was grown women. It made me feel a little more comfortable because, you know, I'm older in life, so obviously that's going to be something I relate to a little bit better. But yes, I really enjoyed this, and I would recommend it. Next, we have An Incurable Case of Love by Maki and Joji. This is a new josei romance series about a nurse who becomes a nurse because of an experience she has with a young, handsome doctor, and she wants to meet the young, handsome doctor again, but when she meets up with him, he's a total jerk to her. And it's definitely that enemies to lovers, he's a tsundere kind of situation. Not like a mean, crazy tsundere, but he's grumpy and surly and prickly on the outside, but he's really just a sweet little cinnamon roll on the inside. And I really loved this so much. If you want more of my thoughts, definitely check out the blog, because that one's already done. Next, we have The Golden Sheep that was kindly sent to me by my friends at Vertical. The Golden Sheep is a rough read, but it is so good. This definitely deals with depression, thoughts of suicide, attempted suicide, bullying. It's rough. This is going to feel a lot like A Silent Voice, just in a different way. So we've got our main girl here, Sugu. She moved away 6 years ago due to circumstances. She's just moved back to the small town that she had left, and she calls out to her old friends, and she expects everything to kind of pick up where they left off, but things have drastically changed. One of the boys is now bullying the other, and the girl likes the bullier, the girl of the foursome that's not Sugu. She likes the bullier and feels threatened by Sugu because Sugu and the bullier are talking. And yes, anyways, it's a hodgepodge of a lot, but it's really beautifully done. The art is stunning. Where they're going with the story is going to be really interesting. From what I understand, this series is only 3 volumes long, and we cover a lot of ground in this first volume, so I'm interested to see where the volumes continue to go from here. But yes, if you want more of my thoughts, definitely check out the blog post. And again, thanks to my friends at Vertical for sending this to me. And last, but definitely not least, we have, as I make a mess, After the Rain, Volume 5. I love After the Rain so much. You guys know this. And this ended perfectly for me. I was totally pleased with how this story chose to end, and I have no regrets about reading it, obviously. And I can now recommend this without any sort of like hesitancy, I guess, because a lot of people struggle with the age gap romance part of this, but with the way everything ends in this volume, anybody can read this and like it. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's beautiful art. It's stunning all the way through. The story's so good. All of our characters grow so much. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. So friends, those are my reads for the month of September. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have anything you want to ask me or questions about anything that I read, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, or you can check me out on my other socials, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.